Nearly 40% of people will face cancer at some point in their lifetime, and many cases are linked to genetic inheritance, meaning things we are born with. While some happen due to chance and life circumstances, the hopeful truth is that almost 40% of cancers can be prevented through healthy daily habits and smart food choices. We cannot change our genes, but we can change how we eat and live, and our lifestyle has a powerful impact on our body and overall health. Cancer is not only a genetic disease, it is also connected to metabolism problems and a weakened immune system. And even foods that seem normal or healthy can silently support cancer growth inside the body. That is why in this video we will explain in simple terms which foods fuel cancer and how to avoid them, so you can strengthen your health, protect your body, and reduce your cancer risk. Cancer begins when normal cells become damaged or abnormal, sometimes starting with just one small change. And if the body fails to repair it, those cells can grow uncontrollably. Cancer cells need glucose, or sugar, for energy. They rely on hormones like insulin and IGF-1 to send growth signals. They thrive in inflammation that weakens the immune system. And they also need a blood supply called angiogenesis, where new blood vessels feed the tumor with oxygen and nutrients. Unfortunately, many modern foods support these harmful processes. But the good news is that food can become your strongest weapon, because you can either feed cancer or fight it based on what you choose to eat every day. Number 1. Aflatoxin. First, there is a dangerous toxin called aflatoxin, which comes from a fungus that commonly grows on peanuts, almonds, walnuts, pistachios, corn, and grains, especially in warm and humid environments. Eating nuts is not bad, but we must be careful when buying them and avoid nuts that look discolored, shriveled, moldy, or smell bad. Peanut butter and almond butter can also contain aflatoxin because low-quality nuts are sometimes used in processing. After purchasing nuts, do not store them for a long time. Always check the expiration date, and whenever possible, lightly roast peanuts and pistachios, as this can reduce aflatoxin to some extent. Aflatoxin can also enter milk and dairy products if animals consume contaminated feed, which is why it is important to be cautious with unregistered or raw milk. Number 2. Processed carbohydrates. Now let's talk about sugar and processed carbohydrates. Excessive intake of sweet and refined foods such as soda, candies, bread, baked goods, and pasta increases the risk of cancer, especially breast and colon cancer. Cancer cells love sugar. Normal body cells burn fuel slowly and efficiently, while cancer cells behave like a broken engine, burning sugar very fast to grow, which is known in science as the Warburg effect. When we consume too much sugar, the body releases insulin and IGF-1, which send growth signals to cells, giving cancer a double advantage: more sugar for fuel and stronger signals to grow. Too much sugar also causes chronic inflammation in the body, which damages DNA and weakens the immune system. Therefore, it is best to minimize sugar intake and choose low-glycemic, fiber-rich foods such as lentils, vegetables, whole grains, and berries. And instead of soda, drink water, tea, or sugar-free beverages. Number 3. Processed and red meat. Third, let's talk about processed and red meat such as sausages, bacon, burgers, beef, and mutton. Research shows that excessive intake may be linked to a higher risk of colon cancer, although many studies are observational, meaning meat alone may not be the direct cause, because people who eat a lot of processed meat may also smoke more, exercise less, or follow an overall unhealthy lifestyle, a concept known as healthy user bias. Even so, moderation is wise, and it is better to limit processed meat. Choose fresh and simple foods, and increase vegetables, fruits, lentils, and fiber-rich foods to keep the body strong and protected. Many processed meats such as sausages, salami, nuggets, and bacon contain added nitrites to preserve color, flavor, and shelf life. And when these nitrites reach the stomach acid can convert them into harmful compounds called nitrosamines, especially NDMA, which is a well-known cancer-causing substance linked to stomach cancer. Cooking methods also matter, because when meat is fried, grilled, barbecued, or cooked at very high temperatures, dangerous chemicals called HCAs and PAHs are formed, which can damage DNA, harm cells, and have been shown in animal studies to promote cancer growth, making heavily burned or charred meat especially harmful. When all research is considered together, it becomes clear that the risk is not only meat itself, but also the lack of fiber in meat-heavy diets, because fiber improves digestion, helps remove toxins, and protects the body. And large studies show that people who consume more fiber have a lower risk of several cancers and up to about 13% lower risk of death. So there is no need to completely avoid meat. But excess should be avoided, and every meal should include vegetables, salads, and legumes. Number 4, alcohol. Now let's talk about alcohol, which is extremely harmful to health. And science clearly shows that alcohol causes cancer. International health organizations classify alcohol as a Group 1 carcinogen, meaning it definitely causes cancer. And it increases the risk of cancers of the mouth, throat, esophagus, liver, breast in women, and the intestines. Inside the body, alcohol converts into acetaldehyde, a toxic compound that directly damages DNA and weakens cell repair, while also reducing important vitamins such as vitamin B1 and decreasing folate absorption, which increases errors in new cell formation and raises disease risk. And even more dangerously, alcohol acts as a solvent that allows cigarettes and other toxic chemicals to enter the body more easily and rapidly. Number 5, trans fats and refined oils. Modern daily foods such as bakery items, biscuits, chips, samosas, pakoras, fast food, margarine, and repeatedly used cooking oils contain high amounts of unhealthy trans fats and refined oils that lose their natural nutrition during chemical processing and produce toxic compounds that harm the body. Long-term consumption increases inflammation, hardens blood vessels, weakens the immune system, damages DNA, and creates an environment that supports cancer growth. And when these oils are overheated or reused repeatedly, as often happens in restaurants and street food, they generate free radicals and additional toxic compounds that further raise cancer risk. It is better to use fresh and minimally processed oils for cooking, such as mustard oil, olive oil, or small amounts of traditional ghee, and to limit deep-fried and heavily processed foods while choosing boiled, lightly cooked or roasted meals to keep the body strong, the immune system resilient, and cancer risk lower. Number 6, plastics and chemicals. In today's daily life, plastic use has increased dramatically as we drink water from plastic bottles, store food in plastic containers and lunchboxes, and sometimes even use plastic wrap in the microwave. Many plastics contain BPA and other harmful chemicals that can be dangerous to the body, and when hot food or drinks are placed in plastic, these chemicals can leach into the food and enter the body, disrupting hormone balance, weakening digestion and metabolism, and suppressing the immune system, which together create an environment that supports cancer, especially breast and prostate cancer. Research also shows that repeated exposure to plastics and their toxic chemicals can damage the DNA of normal cells, and DNA damage can cause healthy cells to turn into cancer cells over time, with children and young adults being especially vulnerable because their hormonal systems and metabolism are still developing and chemicals affect them more strongly. For this reason, it is best to reduce plastic use and store food and water in glass, stainless steel or ceramic containers, avoid microwaving plastic, and limit single-use plastic bottles and packaging, because adopting these small habits not only lowers cancer risk but also improves digestion, strengthens the immune system, and protects long-term health for you and your family, proving that even small changes can create a powerful impact. In the end, remember that cancer is not only about bad luck or genetics. It is also deeply connected to the choices we make every day, the food we eat, the way we cook, the products we use, and the habits we follow either strengthen our body or slowly weaken it by reducing sugar, processed foods, harmful oils, plastics, and alcohol, and by choosing fresh, natural, fiber-rich foods and safer daily practices. We give our body the power to protect itself Small changes done consistently can create powerful long-term results. Your health is your greatest investment, and every healthy choice you make today builds a stronger, safer, and more energetic tomorrow. Start with one small change today, because prevention is always easier than treatment.